and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's a little dark in here. I didn't realize I forgot to turn my lights on. How y'all doing tonight? This is the Club with the Man 1993. We are here live for my live review of Monday Night Raw, which took place last night, August 29th, 2022. And where else? Right here, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As Mick Foley would say, of course. And of course, yours truly was in attendance, which I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. It was a week ago, I think like 2 weeks ago, I had texted my friends to see if anybody wanted to go to Raw. I was interested in going, but most of them weren't really too interested. So I was this close last week during Raw to buying myself a ticket. I was going to go by myself. But then my friends came around and decided they wanted to go. So when that happened, I was excited. And I got to tell you, I loved it. I mean, yes, not everything was completely perfect, but to me, the stuff that was good was really, really good. I mean, there's some stuff that was like a couple of little like meh things, but just the fact that I experienced this in person was what made it a little more special to me, which of course is why I probably gave it a higher grade than I have for any episode of Raw. But there are so many things that I loved about this show. Again, I had an excellent time. And also, fun fact, I was sitting 2 sections over from where Dexter Lumis appeared in the crowd. I was in section 104, row N, seat 20. It was an excellent seat. Had a perfect view of everything. And again, it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. And I'm so glad I got to go. Again, of course, WrestleMania 35 is still the best show I've ever attended. This, though, was definitely the best episode of Raw I've attended. After that shit fest we had that I went to for the go-home show before WrestleMania back in March. Yeah, that was crap. This, though, holy smokes. Much, much better. So I am going to kind of like rush through this a little bit because I am on limited time here. But I am going to talk about the show. But again, I said I had a great time. I loved what I saw. Loved what I'm seeing. Not only am I excited for Clash at the Castle this coming Saturday, which, by the way, I'll be watching it later. I will not be watching it live. So please do not spoil anything. Don't be sending me things asking me my thoughts because I'm not going to want to talk about it. Because I actually do not want to be spoiled by the show. I am very, very excited for Clash at the Castle. But I'll be watching it later on Saturday night with some friends. And then I will be watching, as of now, I'm watching All Out still on Sunday. But I don't know when I'll get to do my reviews and the pay-per-views. Again, it's going to be a busy week. My life is busy in general. Just be patient with me as always, guys. But, we're going to roll in and we're going to talk about the show. We have Tyler first in the live chat who gave this show a C+. He thought it was decent. He's going to review No Mercy 2004. Hope Drew wins the championship and split the world and tag titles, which he says every time, of course. But yeah, Tyler gave this a lot lower of a grade than I gave it. Like I said, I gave it a much higher grade. But that's his thoughts. But let's roll in and talk about this show really quick here. Because like I said, it was an awesome night. I mean, yes, there was a couple little wonky things in that first hour. Especially they did like a squash match with those for that women's squash match. That was weird. I also thought that maybe they shouldn't have main evented with the women's tag titles, even though it was a kind of a surprise ending. So maybe okay, but I don't know. I still just thought there was just so many things on this show I liked. From Kurt Angle appearing to seeing Edge live in person for the first time ever. And maybe the only time ever, who knows. Again, that same with Kurt and Gable. The stuff with Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. That's right. Look at this. Hold on. It showed it on the screen. I thought it was crazy last night. But when I look here, scroll down. Scroll down. Where is it? Where is it? Yep. You see that? That's the first of several name corrections, as Matt Riddle is now officially Matt Riddle again. He's not Riddle, he's Matt Riddle, or Matthew Riddle. But I thought him and Seth had the segment of the night. And it was tough, because I also really loved that segment with Kurt Angle and Chad Gable, too. But let's roll in and talk about this, because I do have other things to do. But let's roll in and talk about this. And also, we got Wario saying hi. What's up, Wario? The show actually opened up with a tag match. AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler versus the Judgment Days, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. That was good. There was a spot in the match, though, where it looked like a lot of people were talking about how AJ Styles stopped himself from attacking Finn. I don't know if, that was supposed to be, a tease of AJ almost attacking Rhea, or if maybe they're teasing something else with AJ joining Judgment Day, which, no. I think AJ's last heel run, ran its course. And to be honest, I thought it was probably the weakest point of his career. But I think right now AJ's needed as a babyface, so I don't want to see him join Judgment Day. But I thought they had a pretty solid match. Damian Priest wins by hitting the South of Heaven on Dolph Ziggler to get the victory. So Judgment Day got a victory over a team of Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles. Yes, by pitting Dolph Ziggler, who, like I said, I wish they would have given Dolph a few more wins before throwing him back into a position like this. Because, again, now it's okay, anybody can beat Dolph, as I keep saying, which is a little bit of a problem I have, of course, with how they're booking Dolph. Because he's not getting any wins. Which is why I keep saying his time may have passed. So, does him really putting people over, though, mean that much, though? But I thought the match was pretty solid. But after that, we see a car pull up. And sure enough, it was Edge coming out. And, of course, we all went nuts chanting, "We want Edge! We want Edge! We want Edge!" And, of course, the Judgment Day see this as they were exiting, so they get back into the ring. Then Damian Priest calls Edge out and says he's all alone without the one person in his family that wears the pants, Beth Phoenix. And tonight, he'll face his Judgment Day. To which Edge comes out, excellent pop, of course, in the arena. And he says Judgment Day have some valid points and some ridiculous ones. He and Ray didn't come back to steal anybody's glory. He came back to show everyone how to achieve his glory, and he believes they want to end his career. Well, they're not in your hometown tonight. They're in Pittsburgh. And he's comfortable enough in his masculinity to admit that both he and Beth wear the pants in their family. Because A, it's 2022, and he should grow up. And B, she's a badass. And Rhea best keep her hands to herself, or she'll find out why they call Beth the Glamazon. Basically saying that she's going to get these hands. Braun Strowman reference there. As for Damian Priest, though, they went to war last week, and Edge won. So now he's standing here all by himself while Judgment Day stand in the ring all angry and emo. They couldn't score tickets to My Chemical Romance, which crowd got a good pop of the crowd. But guess what? They sat under his learning tree for all these months, well, a few months. Finn Balor just a few minutes before they turned on him. And they didn't pay attention because he didn't come here alone. And, of course, Rey and Dominic Mysterio return with kendo sticks. And they have a brawl with the Judgment Day. And then it comes to Dominic getting in the ring with Rhea, having a stare down. And basically, we all thought that Dominic was going to attack Rhea. I thought he was going to finally snap into it. But instead, he was not willing. And she took the stick from him. But before she did anything, as, of course, Edge and Rey slid back in the ring, Finn and Damian pulled her off. And that sets up, of course, a tag match. It's not going to be a six-man. It's not going to be a six-man mixed tag match. It's going to be Edge and Rey Mysterio, with Dominic in their corner, taking on Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor at Clash at the Castle. Of course, later there was a segment where, Dominic, was asking why they picked Edge over him, which, first off, we've seen the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day how many freaking times. But, of course, Ray said he picked Experience this time. But he says he still needs you, Dom, in our corner. Come on now. Come on. You gotta do the turn on Saturday. Every time Dominic comes on my TV, I just gulp. I'm like, is it time? And they don't do it. To me, it's time. I come on. They should have done it I thought they were going to do it at Ray's, 20th anniversary celebration, or whatever it was called. I thought they were going to do it at SummerSlam. And of course, they had, Dominic shove Edge after Edge accidentally speared him on the Fallout show from SummerSlam. So all of a sudden, Dominic seems a little too comfortable again. Pull the trigger this time and just do it, because the suspense is driving me crazy. So we could see it happen on Saturday. Which, honestly, I still think should happen. Like I said, I keep thinking that, the whole story here is going to be Edge destroying the Judgment Day and having all three of them go on their separate paths. I keep saying this, is I really think, especially under Triple H, you could do something with Judgment Day. I don't know if it's add another member to the group, or because those three together, Balor, Priest, and Ripley, again, I really think you booked them right. They could be a dangerous stable. So I don't want to see Judgment Day completely disband, but I think you can still do something with them. Miz is being interviewed backstage about being dragged away by Dexter Lumis, but he refuses to talk about it. And then we have a random 6-woman tag match with Asuka, Bianca, and Alexa squashing a bunch of jobbers. Felt like getting a little too long with this match. But of course, the legitimates win. Afterwards, though, they get on the microphone and talk about how they're going to win in the 6-woman tag match at the Castle against Bayley and her cronies. Of course, they're going to be watching also the main event, which is going to be the finals for the women's tag titles. Of course, then Adam Pearce wouldn't leave The Miz alone about talking about what happened with Dexter Lumis. He kept saying he doesn't want to talk about it. And Ciampa even told him to, buzz off, basically. And then we have one of my favorite moments of the night. So it's advertised that the hometown Hall of Famer, who won a medal with a broken freaking neck, that I had the pleasure of meeting back in 2018 at the World Wheels Convention, Kurt Angle, returns and comes out to a massive pop to a bunch of "You Suck" chants, which of course was awesome. And he's about to hype up how good Clash of the Castle is going to be, until we then hear, "Sheesh! Sheesh, please." That wasn't all the shushing that we had in this segment. So, let me just say this. When they came out, when Alpha Academy came out, the first thing I thought of was, again, because I gotta think it now, because anything could happen. What if Jason Jordan would have came out? Because when Chad Gable came out, first off, this is definitely like a dream segment. Two Olympians, excellent at their craft, going at it on the microphone. And again, we all know that there used to be American Alpha. Chad could have easily asked him, "How's Jason doing?" But we didn't get Jason Jordan, of course. But what we still got was still freaking awesome. A segment I'm going to remember, of course, attending forever. Like if I ever do a video of some of the best things I've seen in person, this whole show and several segments that happened on the show is stuff that I'm going to definitely be remembering for sure from attending. Anyways, Alpha Academy came out, and Gable talked about how much he looked up to Kurt Angle as a kid. Everybody knows how Alpha Academy was looking for a new member, so he figured he'd come to do an open challenge, but there's no talent in Pittsburgh. And I'm thinking, damn it, wish he would have fired a shot at the Pirates. I wish he would have fired a shot at Bob Nutting, especially when he was firing shots at the Maple Leafs last week. But he wants to ask Kurt Angle for a one-night only membership in the Alpha Academy. They handed him an official Alpha Academy jacket. Angle took it, looked at it, and just tossed it back and goes, I think I'll pass. To which Chad Gable doesn't like what he's hearing, and then the two of them went on a shoosh fest. You don't shoosh me, I shoosh you. You don't shoosh me, I shoosh me. It was incredible. You know, it was just, I loved it. The whole shoosh fest was just priceless. The crowd was loving it. We were all into it. Of course, Gable was getting mega heat for sure with the stuff he was saying. But this led, of course, to the Street Profits coming out. And I'm like, rats! No Jason Jordan miracle. But the Street Profits came down before anything, can get worse. And then Montez Ford says, if you mess with Kurt, you want to get hurt. And they're still mad about their bus getting vandalized on SmackDown. Which, why were they there? I still don't know why. So, the Alpha Academy are in the right place at the wrong time. Chad accepts a match under one condition, though. If the Alpha Academy win, then Kurt has to join the Alpha Academy for the Alpha Academy. And then, Ford wrangles around so Angle can accept with an, oh, it's true, it's damn true. Also, of course, one of my favorite parts also in the Shoosh Fest was how it started, because Kurt Angle goes, oh, it's true, it's shoosh! Shoosh, please! And then we had this tag match. And then, of course, again, we have seen these, I think these two had a feud, actually, shortly after Alpha Academy did turn heel last year or year before. It was last year, I think it was, they turned heel. And, of course, we had seen the match so many times. This match, though, was awesome. I thought it was incredible from, Kurt's, involvement, outside watching, to Chad Gable. Chad Gable, again, was the freaking... No, I'm sorry. Chad was the star on the microphone. Believe it or not, I have a different person I thought stood out to me in the ring. You're going to call me crazy, but I think this is their booking of, we've teased a breakup, but don't stay silent on this guy. But, so we all expect, of course, Montez Ford to be the star of the match, right? Give Angelo Dawkins some credit. He's been pulling out some stuff out of the hat that I'm like, where the hell is this coming from? I mean, he's like, the agility is showing off. He's getting the hot tags, the quickness and everything. I mean, yes, I always thought he was good, but I definitely never thought he had as much single potential as Montez Ford does. But, the best part of this match, no doubt about it. Well, first off, there was also a spot in the match where Gable had Montez Ford in the ankle lock in front of Kurt Angle, and Ford was able to switch it around and have Gable in the ankle lock, which of course that's when I thought that's when the match was going to end, right? Nope, not there. There was a moment in the match where Otis was outside. Big Otis, like 5'10", 320 pounds, whatever it is. So, big, strong dude, right? Angelo Dawkins basically Keith Lee'd his ass. Angelo Dawkins pounced into Otis. Like Keith Lee pounced like Adam Cole into the crowd when he was there in NXT. Launched Otis. He made it wasn't even like Otis struggled. Otis sold that pounce like a champ, and went flying over the announce table. It was incredible, and I love that combo they do where I think Dawkins pounce Gable into Ford, and they count into the suplex. It's again, I don't know what it is, but Angelo Dawkins is pulling some stuff out of the hat that you didn't expect. They cooled off on it a little bit, but SummerSlam and right after, they were starting to tease that possible breakup, because there have been rumors they're ready to set Montez Ford free as a single star. But again, like I said, I think this is also kind of a thing where they're saying, hey, don't completely sleep on Angelo Dawkins either. And I agree. He has been really doing well lately in his matches. Montez Ford, awesome as always. But Angelo Dawkins, he's surprising me. So like I keep saying, don't sleep on him. But Street Profits get the win, and afterwards, they went to share a drink with Kurt, but the drink was too strong for him. So what does Kurt do? He brings out a cooler, and it has milk in it to bring back one of his milk segment he had from years ago. We had another throwback later on the show, but I'll talk about it later. But if you thought that was great, then we got this. So on our way down to PPG on last night, one of my buddies pulled up that Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins brawled in a parking lot, which, was a nice looking brawl when it happened. And of course, again, this is when Matt Riddle was not only shown in the graphic as Matt Riddle, but on the match card graphic for Clash of the Castle showed Matt Riddle. So again, it's great to hear that Matt Riddle is Matt Riddle again, and not just Riddle, because that was stupid. Thank God. I was worried they were going to have him say, like, riddle me this, and he's going to tell riddles and whatnot. But he survived, and he is killing it right now. I love this serious side of Matt Riddle. This segment, though, there's 3 things that I'm really going to remember about this show the most, like, for the rest of my life. Well, 4 things. Seeing Edge in person was one thing. That Chad Gable and Kurt Angle shush fest was fantastic. This may have been one of my favorite thing of all of them. There's one more thing also after this that I really, really loved. But there's one more thing after this, and it was we had a sit down interview via satellite with Corey Graves interviewing Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle in separate rooms. So you gotta keep them separate. They're sort of trying to destroy each other. So Seth denies he's targeting Matt and says the problem is he's at the top of the food chain and Riddle's on the come up. But the problem is it's his time and Matt's not on his level. Matt says he's going to embarrass him just like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes did. But Seth says it's not like that and nobody likes Matt. He's just going to finish what he started at Madison Square Garden. Asked about Cardiff though, Rollins says he's going to steal the show and stomp Riddle's head in the mat one more time and show him once and for all who the man is around here. But then Matt says the line, and this is right before a commercial break. Right before a commercial break. Matt says he's going to prove that Becky Lynch is the only man in their marriage. Which, of course, the crowd was like, ooh. Like, that was a savage line. Of course, though, even though it went to commercial, before we moved on to the next segment, that was not all that was done. Let me find the actual line. Because coming right after a week saying that WWE was not going to be going TV 14, then this happened, you're like, are you sure? Because they really... Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Because Seth Rollins... And the thing, too, what makes this interesting, again, there's been rumors before that Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle for real have heat with each other. I don't think these guys for real like each other. Which, of course, is excellent to do in a storyline like this when you're trying to build more heat on it. I think it was a perfect idea for them to do what they did with SummerSlam and whatnot. But, let me see here. So when we came back from commercial break, they said, there was still some stuff that went down after they went off the air. Rollins said this: "Yo, Riddle, you still there? You want to talk about my family? Let's talk about your family. Oh wait, that's right. Your wife divorced you and took your kids because they don't want to see your bitch ass anymore." And it's for real. We all know that like a year or so ago that Matt Riddle did get divorced, which is unfortunate. But Riddle fired the shot saying how Becky's the true man in that relationship. And then Seth makes it even more personal. And Matt just went off and was dropping he must have dropped at least 3 F-bombs. He had to drop at least 3. He wanted to know where he was at, and of course, the sad part though is I wish they would have done, like, that's how we could have ended. Honestly, this is how we should have ended the show. With this, and because after the show went off the air, because when we were getting ready to leave the arena, we heard people popping, and Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle did brawl, and then I think Matt had hit an excellent looking RKO on Seth, but that was after the show went off the air. Like, they could have actually ended it with that, because it was all, like I said, like, just how personal they've made this feud is just unbelievable. Like, I keep saying, with the fighting, the serious side of Riddle it's brought out and whatnot, Seth Rollins is just killing it in the role he's in. Like I keep saying, this, to me, needs to be Falls Count Anywhere. They're going to brawl all over the arena. They're going to beat the piss out of each other. This needs to be Falls Count Anywhere. I mean, I think the next pay-per-view after this is Extreme Rules. They do just a singles match. They want to do one more match. Do Falls Count Anywhere. Or heck, I'll say this. Do Extreme Rules. This feud has been built to be that personal and off the charts writing. Especially, of course, with the turnaround they've done on Riddle. Fantastic storytelling. I love it. I think this might have been my favorite segment of everything on this show. Like I said, I wish they would have had this end the show rather than the women's tag title match. Bobby Lashley and The Miz wasn't too bad. Best part of the match though for sure was definitely, well, first off, seeing Bobby Lashley's entrance in person is quite badass. Because it's the first time I've seen his babyface entrance with the drums and whatnot and the pyro, which was awesome. Because Bobby Lashley actually had returned from injury last time I was at Raw, but that's when he returned as a babyface. But the best part of this match was definitely when Dexter Lumis was in the crowd. And again, like I said, I was 2 sections over from where Dexter Lumis was standing. I was able to get a photo in time before the lights went on and he ran off, but that was awesome. And all that distraction, Bobby had Miz tap out to the Hurt Lock. And of course, Miz was, fuming about it. And then later in the show, they had Miz leaving. And he was in probably like a 3-row SUV or something like that, the 2 in the front, middle seat, back seat. And there was a light shining as they drove off, showing that Dexter Lumis was in the very back seat of his car. We never saw what happened, but I'm like, oh shoot, what happened when Miz got home that night? Maurice, children, might want to back up. Might want to be ready, just in case. But that was awesome. And of course, I must sing it. When he appeared, I thought of, must be Dexter, must be Dexter, must be Dexter, Dexter Lumis. Okay, that's enough. But apparently also, Dexter Lumis did appear on NXT last week and reunited with Indy Hartwell. But apparently, storyline-wise, he got arrested. But of course, Miz pressed no charges against him, so that's why he was back out on the loose again. But, yeah, I guess Miz is Dexter's first victim. We then had, of course, a throwback segment backstage. Well, it was also whenever Ray and Dominic talked, but before that, Edge was with Kurt Angle, and there was that one segment years ago wherever, Kurt was showing, Edge was showing Kurt these photos, but on the other side of the photos were all these, sayings and whatnot, that as he was basically, building towards, this moment of, oh no, he's busted him or whatnot. Basically, you don't understand, the same with the car saying, you still suck in this and that. So, Kurt looked at the first one, it was blank. So he trusted him and kept going on, but of course the rest of them all had sayings on it. And the last one, of course, said, you still suck. And of course, Kurt cracked up at it. He was tricked. Here's the third thing that I enjoyed a lot about this show. Well, first off, I gotta vent about something real quick. So they showed a Connor's Cure segment, as of course it's Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month coming up, I believe it is. They showed Connor, I can't remember what his last name was. Connor the Crusher, we all know him very well. They didn't show Daniel Bryan in the footage. They cut Daniel Bryan out of the footage. I get it, he's in AEW now, but come on. The guy was his hero. I was a little bothered by the fact that they cut him out. I get it, he's not in the company anymore, but, come on. Give him the bone for that, at least, in my opinion. But then we had this segment. The Bloodline and Sami Zayn come to Raw. Which, once Sami Zayn turns face, please, any PNG graphics of him looking like... like, those two happy graphics just drive me crazy. Like, when he's a babyface again... Also, get a haircut, because he got shot on. Well, the person who came out, mentioned his haircut, mentioned his hair is this and this. But anyways, Sami Zayn, the Bloodline came out, and they're talking up this coming Friday. They're going to have a big party to celebrate Roman Reigns being a Universal Champ for 2 years, and Sami Zayn, of course, who cut off his best buddy, Jey Uso, who obviously does not like him mid-sentence, and mentions that Sami Zayn has been appointed Master of Ceremonies. But then Jey shoots Sami a glare, and then Sami plays hype man for the Usos as the greatest tag team in history. And Uso, the Bloodline, is running both shows, and Roman will beat Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. Then out comes Kevin Owens, wearing his duct tape shirt, and he has his old NXT Tron. It was awesome to see. And this segment, I'm officially calling Kevin Owens a babyface again. We'll talk about that more when I do a turn alert later on. But Kevin Owens came out, and he reminds them that Raw is still the Kevin Owens show. He wants to remind them to tell their boss, so he still owes him one. And then Jey asks Sami if Kev is his boy. And then Sami then hesitates before saying, technically, yes, he is his boy. Sami tries to get everybody to settle down and explain to Owens and that how Roman doesn't owe anyone anything. But then Owens says he doesn't think Sami could make himself look any stupider than when he grew his hair out. Which, yes, Sami needs a haircut. For damn sure. But every week, he lets the Usos treat him the way they do every single week. He accuses Sami of forgetting that he is one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time, and now he's the Bloodline's personal clown. I'm like, they're pushing for it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, dethrowing the Usos. We're getting it. Planting the seeds, making Sami Zayn a main event star again. We've got Kevin Owens back there. Now let's get Sami Zayn there. But I'm like in the crowd. I'm like, love this. I love this. I love this. So I'm going nuts, of course, as well. But he still considers Sami his best friend. And more like a brother. And he should look in the mirror and reassess things. Sami's like, but people love me in the Bloodline. Jimmy likes him. Jey, well, they're working on it. And Roman likes him. So that's why he was invited to his personal dressing room. That's why they stood united as the Bloodline stood Drew McIntyre on SmackDown this past Friday. And then Jey cuts him off and says if KO doesn't turn around and go back up the ramp, they're going to drop him like they did Drew. And then that's when Owens says they can celebrate Roman on Friday. But they can also celebrate 2 years of Jey having his head shoved nice and tight up his cousin's ass. Because he mentions that if it wasn't for Jey Uso and Paul Heyman, Roman's title reign would have ended at last year's Royal Rumble. Which is true, because Roman was about to lose until Jey and Heyman got involved. And took down Kevin Owens. So I love how they played history right there. So Sami gets between them and tells them Owens is trying hard to keep. Sami's trying to keep the peace there, but then Owens says, Owens then begs Jey for a fight, And then they had the match, Jey Uso and Kevin Owens. Great match. Of course, there was a moment in the match where they gave Sammy a chair while the referee was distracted, and they were trying to get Sammy to hit Owens with the chair. Now, it was done very well because it was just enough time to make you think that Sammy only didn't do the chair shot because the referee was able to turn around in time. But it was also enough time to question whether or not Sammy just couldn't hurt his best friend. And of course, eventually it led to Owens getting the victory with the stunner. But, man, I just love Kevin Owens is on fire right now. Again, it's so much so that they're making him a babyface again. People love, and it's because, yes, NXT's Kevin Owens was a heel. But people love NXT's Kevin Owens. With how much they fixed Kevin Owens within a few weeks. Like, if there's one star that's been turned around so quickly already, it's Kevin Owens. Like, I'll say this. I mean, yes, I know they're probably going to dethrone the Usos for the tag titles, but if for some reason they don't give Drew the one to dethrone Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens needs to. If not Drew, give it to Kevin. Kevin is on fire right now. But of course, the story's writing itself for the tag titles, but that's my second choice. I think it would be stupid not to give it to Drew this Saturday, especially since we're in his home country, overseas. Then, I think it would be ridiculous. Kevin Owens. Give it to Kevin Owens, if that's the case. Because Kevin Owens is on fire right now. And I'm just loving what he's doing. And I just love that the seeds are planted so well for Sami Zayn to be a babyface again. I can't wait. Again, I'm not just excited for Clash at the Castle. I'm excited for what's after Clash at the Castle. How long has it been since I've said that? Like I said, I love this show. I love going to this show. Best $44 I've spent in a long time. Well, I've spent more on other things, but that number, 44, is the best number I've spent. Well, that's the best $44 I've spent in my life. I've spent more money on better things, but we're not going to go there. Anyways, gang, as Robbie said last week, I was having a Garganoism. I think I'm having a KOism or something like that. I don't know. I wore my Johnny shirt last time, though, but I didn't get a Garganogasm whenever Johnny had like that backstage promo he had during the show. But anyways, we had a segment with Bayley, Dakota, and Io talking about Bianca having been holding the women's division back, and their victory at Clash of the Castle turned things around, and Dakota adds they'll take over the entire company, starting by winning the tag titles tonight. Now we have Johnny Gargano being interviewed from footage earlier today. Says his wrestling is his life, and his 9-month vacation was the longest he's been out of the ring since he started wrestling. And he was excited to see Austin Theory. Well, he still called him Theory, but he's rumored to be being Austin Theory again, which excellent, because just Theory sounds stupid. He was excited to see Austin, and he's happy for his success. Theory has every genetic gift he wasn't blessed with. But he realized that Theory never called him when the baby was born. Austin rolls up and asks questions for him. Why didn't Johnny call him when he became U.S. champion? Or Mr. Money in the Bank? Gargano's like, I was busy. But Theory says it all sounds like excuses. But maybe he didn't call because he was just a bit jealous. So it doesn't look like they're having a match at Clash of the Castle, but it's just a slow build for an upcoming feud. Maybe just on Raw, or maybe it'll lead to the next pay-per-view. Who knows? And then we had the main event, the women's tag title match, Dakota Kai and Io Sky taking on the team of Raquel Gonzalez and Aaliyah. Of course, my phone was out because I'm thinking, okay, we're going to wait for this ending that's very predictable. Io and Dakota are going to win. And then we hear or I'm amazing. By the way, there was indeed, I think it got leaked on the internet too. There was a fan sitting front row Because I was still a few rows up, of course, but like, you know, all the way down my section, and like one or two sections over in the front, there was a fan that had a sign that got confiscated saying, "We want Naomi, not Botcha Banks," or something like that. That sign got confiscated. Good for you. You should not have brought that sign in there to get on live TV, you stupid idiot. I'm sure Chris Jericho put you on the list for doing that. But yeah, the match was fine. And then, again, I was more so thinking, look, only intrigued by this match because I thought that they were going to have that return. But it didn't happen. I guess it was kind of their way of... I'm pretty sure... The results, I'm pretty sure, is going to be short-lived. Because I think they did this to give the baby faces the rub going into the six-woman tag match on Saturday. So there was a moment in the match where I thought that it was about to be finished. Io hit the moonsault on Raquel. Raquel, though, kicked out. And then the moment, because Bayley got involved a few times, it caused like 2 distractions. The moment Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa came out and chased off Bayley, I'm like, they're really going to do this, aren't they? And they did. Aaliyah rolled up, who was it? Aaliyah rolled up Dakota Kai, and shocker for sure, Raquel Gonzalez and Aaliyah win the vacated WWE Women's Tag Titles. I was shocked. Of course, now there's a story here, though. Apparently, Dakota was not the legal in-ring competitor at the time. So that's going to lead to the excuse of them having the rematch, probably either next Monday on Raw or next Friday on SmackDown. 1 to 2. Again, I think they only did this to kind of give the babyfaces somewhat of like an upper hand going into a Clash of the Castle. Because I think the heels got to win the match on Saturday. I think Bayley Stable's got to win the match on Saturday. But I think with that, with the roll up on the wrong person, I think that'll lead to them getting a rematch next week. I think that's when we get Io and Dakota win the tag titles. And maybe a Sasha and Naomi return. I don't know, but I don't want to get my hopes up, but I think that's where we're going to go with it. And that's the show. Again, I would definitely love to talk more about the show, but I'm on limited time right now because I got other things to do tonight. But again, I love this show. I am so glad I got to attend it. I gave the show an A-. I gave it an A-. There was 3 things I'm always going to remember. Well, okay, 4 things I'm always going to remember about this show. Seeing Edge in person for the first and possibly only time in my life. There's that. Well, he was on the episode I went to back in March, but he didn't actually appear. He was in a backstage promo. There's that. The Kurt Angle and Chad Gable segment with the shushing was just outstanding. The Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle segment was definitely the best moment of the night. I definitely recommend that. I definitely see that as like a segment of the year. This actually could be a storyline of the year, in my opinion. And of course, the stuff with Kevin Owens and the Bloodline, I thought was just spectacular. I just love what they're doing with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn right now. It's going to be so great when those 4 collide finally in a tag match. But before I go, check the live chat really fast. I have a couple last minute comments that I gotta go. Chris Leclerc, did you notice Aaliyah pinned the wrong person? Yep. So that's probably going to lead to the rematch next week. Tyler wants the tag titles gone, which again, I agree, is so pointless. Bayley needs to pin Bianca Belair at Clash of the Castle in a 6-women's tag team match. I think that's where they should go with it too. That will lead to probably Bianca and Bayley having a match at the next pay-per-view. And honestly, with how big, again, to me, the way they're booking Bayley, Dakota, and Io, to me, it feels like how they booked the Undisputed Era when they first came in. I think you got to get the gold on them immediately. I think that's what it should be. And I still think when Becky comes back, get a 4th member somehow to do, unless they do like a triple threat or something like they did with the first one. I still got War Games vibes with this match. I this whole build is still giving me War Games vibes. I still think they need to go there with the women for this feud. Tyler wants Charlotte back, and Mark, Kurt Angle, and Edge, so funny. I agree. But guys, that is going to do it. Again, it's going to be a busy week. Later on, I may do a quick turn alert, which is Kevin Owens turning face. I think it's official he's a babyface again. Even though it's a little random, but I love that he's a babyface again. I don't think I'll get to do anything tomorrow night. Thursday, I'm going to try to do some, I want to do at least my my Clash at the Castle preview predictions and my Dynamite predictions. Friday, I will try to finish up. Friday and early Saturday, I'll try to finish up whatever I don't get done. But before the pay-per-views this weekend, I want to review Raw, which I've done, AEW, hopefully SmackDown, but the two definites are my Clash at the Castle preview predictions and my All Out preview predictions. And maybe a couple of the last Seinfeld reviews as well. I don't know. I can't guarantee those right now, but we got a lot of content this week, but it's going to be fun. But again, I cannot say how much fun I had. Again, if I would have gone to the Raw live in Pittsburgh back on July 25th, I think it was 2016, that Raw would have been the best Raw I ever went to. But I didn't go to that Raw. This is the best Raw I've ever been to. Unbelievable night. I had so much fun with my friends. It was unbelievable. I think the next time they come back actually is the December 9th episode of SmackDown. Maybe we'll be there. We'll see, though. But guys, that's my review of Raw from this past week. The go-home show again for Clash at the Castle. What are your thoughts on this episode of Raw? Again, I have my 3 things I'm always going to remember from this show. Make sure you guys... Okay, I'm sorry. 4. I have 4 things I'm always going to remember from this show. Can't forget that. But please, guys, leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'm catching out. I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys later. Again, the next video will definitely be my Kevin Owens turn alert video. And then after that, most likely my Clash at the Castle preview and predictions. Guys, till then, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great Tuesday night. Eat some tacos if you like this Taco Tuesday night. Peace out, everybody.